Bit of action for today, Sunday. We telling it sometime in September we'll find out the most accurate dates. I'm sitting here, sitting everywhere. As you can see, a bit of chocolate drink on the wall, on the floor. I know who done it. Actually came back 15 minutes after he done it. As soon as I sat down at the scene of the crime 4 days ago, they had some paint there by the bottom of Hosokawa. I'm not really in favor of Hosokawa. You see my video, hopefully. If you haven't, then go and check it out. They're all part of it. But I think, yeah, but this place never gets messed up. Wagamama. Why should it? So beautiful and well maintained. Only one staff in there, I can genuinely say now, is the best. The rest, watch my video and also Wagamama. There was an exposure of asbestos there, and I've done a video on it, and I mentioned the person who worked there, one of the manager, or one of the managers, the St. Lucian guy who I mentioned, of course, beat the grass and the snake shall reveal. That's what it is. And anyway, yeah, we have now, how do we say, finally cemented and ostracated ourselves from such people, and because yeah, they're not in a good light to say. I knew of them. I've been here for like 4.5 years, just about coming in and out. I don't sit here permanently. I sit on the front, lights blind, as you see in the train station. I sit everywhere. It's free. But they tried to box me off and say, "Oh, is that your corner? Is this your corner?" Yeah, well, 3 weeks ago they threw urine on the wall. You can see some remnants of it. It wasn't cleaned appropriately. That's the remnants of the urine thrown with some sticky stuff. And obviously down here, I cleaned as much as I can. And whenever I was sitting down here, I put plastic against the wall or carton. And yeah, this is going to be all from the so-called managements and conglomerates and you say confederates of business owners around here, all in support from the so-called justice system, all aspects of the so-called justice system, whether it's the probation, whether it's the so-called, prison, whether it's the so-called psychiatry, whether it's the so-called, yeah, even the non-security elements of the so-called system are part of it. Working on drugs, pills, alcohol. Yeah, most of the staff here work on zero contracts, like ours. And many work in different names, not even their name, they're not even legal. Oh, for sure. It goes on. I can expose all that in one day if I want. And but yet this seems to go out their way to try to antagonize me and bother me. The so-called organization of for homeless people and stuff like that. They call themselves the Regenboog, the so-called rainbow. Definitely not rainbow. As we see, the weirdos have tried to hijack the rainbow. If anything, rainbow should be a depiction of a variation of race, not mental deviousness, anyway, to go there. And that's what's going on. I get antagonized where I sleep, on the boats, the police come, where I sit. Everywhere I sit, everywhere I go, that's what they do. And they try to use the psychiatry and the so-called police and the so-called justice element to say that, oh, this man is crazy. This man is a madman. This man is a... But this is what they do. They push your buttons. And then when you react for the wicked... when you have a reaction to the wickedness they've done to you, all of a sudden you're a madman, you're this, you're loose. Of course, hopefully look at my videos. This is nothing. I've been getting persecuted from the UK. I'm not far from being an angel. Of course not. I've done my fair share of bits. At the same time, equally further from being the devil, even further. That's not the aspect of life that I want to even venture with. I stay away from these people in the main. I promise you, any homeless people that you see outside on the streets laying about in full view, said this before, full view of passerbys, of the city centre or whatever. Some may say they can't help it. Some may say they're scared. And that's the point I want to go back to. That so-called scaredness. That scared point. A lot of these homeless people that you see are not homogenous in one characters, whether it's a non-homeless person or whether it's somebody who works in the police force or whether it's somebody who works in the justice system. Not all police are bad, not all justice elements are bad, not all homeless people are bad. A lot of these fuckers are. The ones who sleep out here, let me tell you about them. As I was saying, they sleep on the streets because they use the passerbys as comfort. They use the passerbys as security. That's the only way they can close their eyes. They cannot go away into the bushes or into the darkest corners like people like me who carry their bags, who also carry their bags. And as you can see, most homeless people don't carry these bags anymore. Some still do, and good to them, and don't carry too much anyway. But anyway, yeah, that was one of the Capoeira guys, Uber guys. I'm not gonna mention his name. Yeah, I didn't even know it was him. Yeah, as you see, I saw he rode in. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not gonna go there right now. But anyway, yeah, these homeless guys, they steal phones. They rob all amounts of pilfering, handbags, whatever they do. That's them. Hence why, also more. Yeah, more. Some of the dirty scumbags have been through the system. Shit, you can see them. Used to be victims, but they're not anymore because you can see in the face of one who is traumatized and who hasn't become a perpetrator. And many of these have become perpetrators, wallowing in their debauchery, which they have done, and it's all in their mind. They cannot sleep. Need to smoke X amount of crack, alcohol, and pills, and what have you, just to function. And yeah, that's the only way for them. Wallowing. Anyway, these homeless people that you see out here sleeping out here on the fronts, I don't feel sorry for them. Yeah, they're dirty. On the main, those ones are dirty. Yeah, sitting down there or begging, looking with their eyes like, with a face like they're about to die. Okay, if I don't give you this €1 right now, will you die? Fucking hell, fix up your face, man. Nobody here is your family. I promise you, I've had so much help from people. And what I keep is nothing compared to what I give to other homeless people. The same people who I may tell you not to even give right now, some of them. And I even give people who have houses. Because if you go to the homeless shelters here, you have people who used to be homeless or were not, just come there. Instead of helping other homeless people to come to their house to shower, to maybe eat while they're there, not necessarily sleep. No, they come to the homeless shelter. 40%, yeah, by and large. And just messing about, Yeah, one big bunch of squalid, dirty, subhuman non-entities. And the system wants us to pander to it. Hey, you live your life, I live my life. I'm walking about, sitting about, reading, using my phone, doing whatever, communicating. Imagine people taking selfies and sitting down for hours and we're having conversations and and it burns them to say, wow, who's this guy? What does he think he is? Sitting out there looking normal, having conversation with half normal people who are seeking, people who want to change, people who want answers. I'm looking for answers as well. Answers of what? But I'm not looking like as if I'm looking for a needle in a haystack and just running around like a headless chicken. No, we're taking our time because it's life, it's enjoyable. If we don't make it to tomorrow, Allahu Akbar. Hopefully what you learn up to now should help you. And it won't help them because they're not rehabilitated in their mind. You can see it, you can feel the vibration. And it's not about color, as I used to be indoctrinated to believe. Yes, there's elements of it, when you look at things like slavery. Now these guys are here again, I'm gonna feed you guys, every time. Anyway, I know the elements of slavery and what happened with the colonization of elements around the world, but how do you people who so-called think that you were colonized by these white people happen? Don't go there. It's obvious in your face and it's still obvious. While people like me on the streets or the Shaka Zulus, which I'm not claiming to be, but I wouldn't mind having such a minuscule rub-off of a repertoire if that was any standing that I want to have as a societal member, would be of these people. Martin Luther King's, the Malcolm X's, the Shaka Zulus. I'm going all the way, the Nannies and the Maroons, the Harriet Tubmans, and I associate myself with these sort of people. But it's not expressly about race, because I say to you again, you're being held in racial subjugation if you see it as that, which is really not, by your own people, by your own black people, various elements of brown people, of Arab people, of so-called Muslims, of so-called Jewish, of so-called any element. So now we know it's not race now, if you understand what I'm trying to get down to. It's always been them. Go to the places of Ghana, where they had big chains and big factories of where they used to sell people. Not just Ghana, but elements in many parts of Africa, the East, Asia, even here in the West. But there in Ghana is one of the biggest known Timbuktu as well. All these places, the history is there. It's quite apparent, and this is it. Because we know that the civilization was already in great flourish when it came to the East and Africa and where we now call Saudi Arabia and these elements. It was already in flourish. So how could now people who had civilization more advanced than the Europeans at that time now be put in subjugation and under slavery by the so-called, they say, people who were not as much enlightened as them in Norway? There was no fire in Europe then when civilization was flourishing. There was no, technological advances there in the Caucasus Mountains of Russia in those days. It was bloody cold. So how did they now come to enslave you, black people? Whatever. Again, it's not black, it's not white, it's not red, it's not green, it's not blue. It's just nasty people on the main. And I put it down to this. There's one element that I can definitely put my finger on in my limited 44 years of experience, and that is the deviousness of the unnatural behaviorists. It's not just the homosexuals. Those who partake in anal sex is not meant for it. We're not meant to go there. Every child knows poo-poo. Poo-poo mommy, poo-poo daddy. It stinks. It's poo-poo. It's not what we do. Since when did poo-poo start smelling like spaghetti bolognese? When did poo-poo start smelling like a 4-course dinner? Since when did poo-poo start smelling like something we're supposed to, eat? And wallowing. You've all seen the porn. You're not flabbergasted. You're not shocked. If anything, a lot of you are starting to act out what you see on that porn, spreading the anal cavities to the point where it's just destroyed. And the vaginal area. What is going on with that? Isn't that what kind of beastly behaviors? And these are the people who work in these restaurants, who work in Wagamama, who work in Hard Rock, who work in all these places, Burger King, and they want me to come and buy food from them and sit down and eat from them. You sit there, please. I extricate myself and ostracize myself from you guys for a reason. Vile non-entities. Tuh. Anyway, rest in peace, Conor Murphy. That's what this outline is here. This guy here who used to man this shop here, my battery's a bit low. Yeah, took it down within 3 days. Rest in peace. The boy, poor man, was found in a canal 6 weeks later, Conor Murphy. Some people from the Bulldog. Who knows what happened there, mate. But anyway, it's always the case when you come here to this place, full of intoxications all around the world as well, intoxicated. Something happened, limited investigation. Everybody disappears who was supposed to be connected to it. That's what's going on. Yeah, but anyway, I've been arrested 168 times in 5 years, 4 months, thereabouts. And I'm just going through the appeal courts. I've won 2 cases in the Supreme Courts of Holland for the same similar issues in terms of them just saying not investigated. Hence why I mentioned investigation, the lack of investigation, and them still prosecuting me and still getting a conviction. How does that work out? I won 2 cases in the Supreme Court in 2018. Do you think the media want to even talk about that? Of course they can't, for many other reasons from before Holland. Anyway, this is what we're doing. Still trying to fight the fight against the child rapists and the pedophiles who are so-called royal families, who are so-called doctors, who are so-called lawyers, who are so-called psychiatrists, who are so-called most of the system, every echelons of the so-called elitists is saturated with child rapists and brutalizers and murderers and killers and child traffickers. That's what's going on. It's all coming out now, but we've been speaking about it for 23 years. Even your family will say, oh, please, we've had enough. Even the family say, oh, no, that's not true. This is not, you're too far-fetched. Well, now it's coming out. What they're saying now, the families, what the people saying, the families of the people who have always been speaking against this, what they're saying, they still haven't accepted the fact. They still haven't changed their tune. They're still rubbing shoulders with them. Dirty fucks, because you're all addicted to drugs, alcohol on the main is the gateway to everything. And you're all addicted to it, pills, wallowing in nonsense, some nightmare of a cartoonish caricature of an overblown what reality should be. Mate, I'm not there, and I don't want to be there. I sleep very well. I swear, I sleep very well. And you know it. You see it on my face. You see the energy. It's natural. I sleep with my thumb in my mouth. Like I'm 18 months. You dumb. Scumbags. Yeah. You enjoy. because you're going to go to the other side. We're all going to go to the other side, whether you like it or not. And initially, when we go to that light, the light is always welcoming. Wow, beautiful. I've been knocked out like 4 times in my life. Yeah, 3 of them only by my person who was supposed to knock me out. The other one, yeah, he got it back. Yeah, but you know what? You go to the light. Oh, the light is comforting. It's beautiful. It's smooth. You see stars. Wow, it's beautiful. You know what I mean? Like you're just we're looking at somebody who's being killed and dying from that first heavy blow they got to the head. He's already seen stars, man. He's not there. You're just watching the body being brutalized, and the soul, is already leaving. Yeah, you can still come back if you don't brutalize the body enough for it to return to the body. But other than that, that first major blow you give somebody. Man, they're seeing stars already, and it's beautiful. I promise you. I'm not saying that means we should go and kill ourselves or go and kill people, but yeah, I just have a mercy thought, which I know is true, for those people who have suffered any brutalization over the past. See my Pinterest, see my sites, and you see what I've put on there. But yeah, rest in peace to everybody. Anyway, who have passed away under such brutal circumstances. And it's like this. We still have to go through thinking positive. You can't expect somebody else to, wash away your sins for you. Okay, they may advise you, they may give you pointers, but at the same time, it's still the self, it's still the us. So we have to really get into the position of actually, rehabilitating ourselves from whatever it is, whatever it is. How do you do it? Put one foot in front of the other. You know how to stop it. Calm down. Take less. If you're drinking 50 beers a day, mate, if you take away 3 beers from that 50, it's not going to make a difference necessarily in terms of killing you. I know if we take away half of that, you could probably have a heart attack, but get to that point. Take away 3. Do that for a week. Wow, okay, I can do away with 3. Then do another 3. Mate, 1 foot in front of the other. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, come good for the people. I'm good.